It appears that the era of the fake Abigail is finally over. Chad, a man whose life has been shattered and rebuilt time and again, is about to unleash his fury. The next chapter in this twisted tale will likely see the return of Chad in his darkest form yet, a man driven by vengeance, pain, and a desire for justice. Fans of the story know one thing: when Chad gets pushed too far, his dark side emerges, and it's not a force to be reckoned with. With his signature intensity, Chad delivers a searing declaration to those who have wronged him. What I do know is that you and your brother have committed a brutally cruel fraud on anyone who has ever loved Abby, and for that, I'm going to make you pay. His words are chilling, a promise that what's coming will be nothing short of devastating for those who crossed him. But how will Chad ensure that Mark and Kat pay for the emotional torment they've caused? Their elaborate scheme to make him mourn Abigail all over again, reviving the agony of losing his beloved wife, has left him emotionally gutted. This wasn't just a con, it was a manipulation of his deepest vulnerabilities. So will Chad embrace his notorious DiMera heritage and go full dark mode? Those who know the DiMera family understand what that means. A mix of ruthless cunning, manipulation, and often operating outside the bounds of the law. Chad could very well embark on a path of vengeance that defies the legal system altogether. DiMeras are known for their ability to exact revenge in the shadows, pulling strings from behind the scenes. If Chad decides to take this route, Mark and Kat are in for a world of trouble. The DiMera way often involves blackmail, secret deals, and eliminating threats without ever getting their hands dirty. This might be the perfect moment for Chad to step into his dark heritage and bring his enemies down in ways they'll never see coming. But there's another possibility. Chad could decide to stay within the legal framework and make sure Mark and Kat pay for their crimes in a courtroom. The humiliation of public exposure, a long trial, and an ironclad sentence could be just as satisfying as any underhanded DiMera scheme. Watching them squirm as their lies unravel in front of everyone they've ever deceived might be the kind of closure Chad needs. But would the law be enough to satisfy Chad's hunger for justice after everything they put him through? Of course, no real justice can be achieved without dealing with Clyde. The mere mention of Clyde's name sends a shiver down the spine. The man is a master manipulator, a criminal who has always managed to slip through the cracks of justice. He's a dangerous figure who, in some twisted way, even managed to hold Kat and Mark's mother hostage. But that doesn't mean Chad can't manipulate them into turning against Clyde. It's not impossible to imagine Chad, in full dark mode, using Kat and Mark's loyalty to Clyde as a weapon to take him down from the inside. But this won't just be about turning people against Clyde. No, for Chad, Clyde's punishment needs to be far more severe. Clyde isn't just a criminal who deserves to be behind bars. Chad wants to see him erased from the world of the living. Solitary confinement in a high-security prison would be the minimum acceptable fate for Clyde. But even that might not be enough for Chad's thirst for retribution. Clyde deserves something more fitting for the level of damage he has caused. Perhaps a black ops site, a prison so secretive and severe that it's reserved for only the worst of the worst. The kind of place where no one checks out once they've checked in. This is where Chad wants Clyde, isolated from the world, watched over by guards who can't be bribed or intimidated, left to rot in a place where he can no longer manipulate or terrorize anyone ever again. This is the future Chad envisions for Clyde, a fate worse than death, a permanent no-show in Salem. If anyone can make this happen, it's Chad. Especially if he taps into his DiMera roots and uses every resource at his disposal to see this through. One thing is certain, Chad's retribution is coming, and when it does, it will be swift, brutal, and utterly satisfying. So, as the dust settles on the fake Abigail storyline, we are left on the edge of our seats, wondering just how far Chad will go to make Kat, Mark, and especially Clyde pay for their sins. Will he bend the law to its breaking point? Will he employ the full weight of the DiMera family's dark legacy, or will he find a way to get justice through more conventional means? One thing is clear, there's no stopping Chad now. The reckoning has only just begun.